Good morning. In this session, we are going to know about the security groups at instance level, not at a VPC level. That means we will discuss later about the network level. Now, we are going to know about the security groups at the instance level. Previously, we discussed about the EC2 instances, Windows Server, and then EBS. Now, you are going to know about the security group. What is exactly security group? The security group act as a virtual firewall. Here, what is a firewall here? The firewall is a network security system that controls the incoming and outgoing network traffic based on the security rules. That means you are defining the different types of rules. Based on the rules here, it will controls the security information. Here you have a in some of the inbound rules, outbound rules are there. Here the inbound rules controls the incoming traffic to your instance, and then outbound rules are there. Outbound rules uh, control the outgoing traffic. For example, in your system, you are getting a different that means you're relieving the here some incoming traffic and outgoing traffic is there. That means those are all controlled by using this firewall, virtual firewall. That means also you can specify the one or more security group for an instance. That means if do not specify the group, the Amazon EC2 automatically allows a default security group. Here the default, that means there is a facility is there, you can allow the automatically default security group. The security rules here, what are the different security rules? You have a different security. By default, the security group allows a all outbound traffic. All outbound traffic. Outbound traffic in the sense why? Because the security group is a stateful. That means it will remember the what is the incoming traffic and what is the outgoing traffic. That means we will open in a 80 port. That's why it will know the traffic information. That means it will allow the outbound traffic automatically. And then security rules are always permissive. That means you cannot create the rules that deny the access. The security rules enable you to filter the traffic based on a protocol and port number. Here, by using protocol and port number, only you can modify the traffic. Another important rule here is a security groups are stateful. The stateful in the sense, if you send a request from an instance, the response traffic for the request is allowed to flow in a regardless of inbound security group rules. That means you can add or remove the rules at any time. Another rule here. That means these are all different rules for the security, and then each and every rule consists of these parts. Here, what is type protocol? That means the type name of the protocol, and then protocol here is a, that means you will use the different types of protocols. Here, for example, the common protocols are 6 TCP and 6 is TCP protocol, 17 UDP protocol, 1 ICMP protocol. But here you will use a different types of protocol. And then coming to the port range, for the TCP, UDP, and a custom protocol, the range port to allow. That means you can specify the single port number or range of port number. Here, the single port number in the sense, for example, 22, like that, you will specify. Or you may specify the range of port number. For example, 7,000 to 8,000, like that, you will specify the range of port number. Another one is the ICMP type R code. Here, for example, you may specify the ICMP code, and then you will use a source and destination. Very important thing here is it. The source inbound rules. The source consists of inbound rules. The destination consists of outbound rules for a specific traffic. Here you will specify the any IP address as well as the port number for this one. Finally, description is a optional one. Here that is a different rules. And then coming to the creating the security group. How can you create the security group? You have a different ways for creating the security group. Here by using command line interface or by using AWS Management Console. Here you will discuss that means you will create the security group by using AWS Management Control in this case. That means how can you create the security group? That means without launching the instance, you may create the security group, the first thing. After that, after in launching the instance, you may create a security group. That means that is a important thing. Without uh, launching the instance, how can you create the security group now? Here go to the EC2 dashboard, and then go to the, we have a different services are there. Here click on EC2 dashboard, click on EC2 dashboard. Here, the left side navigator, you will identify the different computing services, EC2 instances you discussed previously, and then some of the EBS, elastic block storage, and then in the block storage you discussed the volume and snapshot. Here comes to the network and security. In the network and security, you have a security groups are there. Click on security group. Here you have a different information. By default, the AWS default security group is there. One is a this one. Here, if you identify here, you have a different details. What are the details here? What are the inbound rules? What are the outbound rules? That means you will specify the different rules. Why? Because the each and every security group managed by the different rules. That's why you have to specify the inbound rules. Outbound rules in the sense allow all. Why? Because it is a stateful. Automatically it allows the all. That means 0.0 information in the sense it allows the all type of traffic. Outbound rules. And then you may use the tag for this one. Here you may use tag for this one. That means you may, if you need, you may create the tag. Now I'm going to creating the security group. Click on security group. Here you have a certain kind of information is there. The basic details, the security group name. You may give the, for example, Uma underscore security group. For example, security group. I'm going to creating the security group. Here description. I'm going to give a description allows, for example, allows SSH allows, for example, SSH rules, comma, HTTP rules, comma, and then other kind of rules, RD, RDP, remote desktop protocol rules. That means I'm going to allowing that one. And then coming to the VPC, that means up to now I did not create any VPC. I am using the default VPC, virtual private network. I am using that one. And then inbound rules. Here you may add the rule like this. Here that means each and that means you discuss the rules. What are the rules? And then the each and every rule consists of these number of items. Type of the um, a security group, what are the protocol you are using, and then what is the port number, and then source address, and then if you need the destination address, like that description, it is an optional one. Here allow the different rules. Here I'm allowing the SSH rule. For example, here let us type that one, SSH. SSH, that means I'm allowing the SSH rules. And then the custom, you may use any one of the protocol, that any IP address, or you may use the default security group information. No need to use that one. Here coming to the add another rule. Here what is the another rule here? HTTP rule. HTTP rule, for example, you may add the HTTP rule for a website, web processing. And then add remote desktop protocol rule, RDP. That means I'm going to adding these rules. And then coming to the outbound rules here. What are the outbound rules here? It will allow the all traffic, and then finally add new tag. For example, uh, name. What is the name of the tag? For example, it is a it's simply for remember. It is a tag name of the EC2 or instance tag. Let us assume tag underscore tag. Yeah, it will allow, and then create the, that means you have to allow traffic. Yeah, this one all traffic, this one, let us assume here slash 22 slash 80, and that means slash. For example, if you here click on here, you will identify the slash 0 0.0.0 slash 0 indicates the allows the all traffic. That means slash 8, that indicates that 255.0.0.0. That means here it will allows the, I don't know about the exactly, um, that means 16 lakhs of network hellos systems or IP addresses allows. And then, for example, 0.0.16 indicates that 65,000 IP addresses allows. And then the 24 indicates that 24 in the sense it allows a certain that means the number increases indicates that it allows the minimum number of IP addresses. That's a thing that allows this one, and then create security group. Here it is going to creating the security group. Yes, the security group created. Here, if you want to see the security group, go to network and security. Under network and security, you will have the security group. Click on security group. Yes, you will find out the security group name, and then you may give the name. For example, security group. Let us assume save it as J. Save it here. This is a rule that means you may edit these rules here. If it comes to the action part, you will view the details and then edit the, or edit means modify the inbound and outbound rules. That means previously you have a, three rules are there: SSH rules, and then HTTPS rules, and then other one is a RDB rules. That means I want to change that rules. I don't need SSH rules. And that means, but outbound rules are there, and then manage the tag, and then you may have the different options. That is a thing. That means if it comes to here, that is related information existed here. If you click on the security group, you will identify the different information regarding the security group. What are the inbound rules, what are the outbound rules, and so on. Here comes to security group. The next important thing here is you created a one security group. I want to copy this security group into other security group. I want to copy the, you may copy the security group. That means you can create a new security group by using, by creating a copy of existing one. That means when you copy the security group, the copy is created with the same inbound and outbound rules at the original security group. If the original security group is in a VPC, the copy is created in a VPC unless you specify the different one. Here, how can you create that information? Here, that doing that one, here go to the security group and then select the, yeah, comes to here action part. Yeah, it will copy here. That means come to the security group. If you comes to the security group, here you will identify the different actions here. What are the actions here? Copy new security group. That means these rules copy to another security group here. That means the basic information. The basic information here is a source, the group name, for example, XYZ. the description allows here is a same description. That means allows mm, traffic like a SSH, HTTP, and then HTTPS, and then desktop, remote desktop protocol, remote desktop protocol. Let us assume the description, and then the next important thing, you may add these rules and then create a security group. That means with the help of same rules, you may copy the another security group. You created the security group. If you want to view the security group, click on security group. Then you will find out that means it's not identify that one security group. Yeah, you created the security rules. The next thing here is a updating the security rules. How can you updating the security rules here? For updating the security rules, that means go to the in inbound rules, edit the inbound rules and outbound rules, and then if you want to edit, that means update rules, and then preview the changes. Here, go to, for example, for this is not SG, I copied that one. Okay, I did not see this information, that's why open that one. Yes, you have a three security groups are there. One SG, and then XYZ is another security group. For simplicity, I'm writing XYZ underscore security group. Let us assume save it. That means the same. The SG and XYZ are same. The same copy here. Next thing here is a for the SG security group. I am going to updating some information. How can you updating that information? If you want to updating information, go to action and then edit inbound and outbound rules. For example, I'm going to editing the inbound rules. Previously, inbound rules are SSH. That means I want to remove that rules here, or I want to change that rules. Here, the it may changing that rules as a of let us assume IMAPS. Let us assume that rules. I'm going to default rules and then add save that information. That means I added that information. I want to change the outbound rules. That means previously allows the all traffic, but I want to allow some of the traffic. Here also you will define the different rules. Here SMTP, for example, HTTP rules. I'm going to introduce the HTTP rules and then allows the traffic and then add this rule. Another rule, for example, all TCP oh, allows the all TCP allows this one and then save it. In this way you will edit the different. Okay, next important thing here is a you want to delete the different rules. Already you created inbound and outbound rules. I want to delete some rules. Yeah, that means previously modify the rules. I want to delete the rules. For deleting the rules, edit the inbound rules, and then there is a right side delete button is there. I don't need SSH rules, delete that one. Automatically delete that one. I don't need IMAPS rules, delete that one, and then save these rules. That means you will delete your rules, and then coming to the you may delete the outbound rules also. Here you define this one, delete these rules, and then save that one. Here, if you comes to the this information, example, you have a inbound rules. You will define the inbound rule. That means inbound rules manages the incoming traffic. Outbound rules manages the outgoing traffic. That means for the outgoing traffic and incoming traffic, for the system, outgoing traffic, incoming traffic for the system, you are defining the these number of rules. And then coming to this one, that means I want to delete the one security group. How can you delete the? I don't know why, because XYZ is a copy of SG. I don't need this SG. That means I want to delete the security group. How can you delete the security group? Here there is a action. Go to the action part. Delete security group. Yes. Write something. Delete. Yes. I want to delete this group also. I want to delete this group. Delete that one. Delete the security group. Delete. Yeah. Up to now we discussed about the creating security group without having launching the instance. Yet there are different rules. Here creating a security group with instance. While AWS security groups are normally associated with the instances during their creation, the time of creation of the instance or EC2 instance, you have to add some security group. That means you also add or remove the running instance. That means carrying out these changes via the AWS Management Console. That means for creating these rules, these are all different rules here. That means EC2 instance, select the instance, and then you will identify some of the information, and then these are all some rules. How can you do those rules? Here coming to this one. Here, that means first thing here you have to launch the instance. For launching the instance here, go to EC2 dashboard. You are not having any instance, that's why you will creating the one instance. You may create the one instance here. That means launch the instance. Previously discussed about how to create the instance. Select the AMI. AMI means Amazon Mission Image. AMI is a template that contains a software configuration, operating system, application server, and then application required to launch your instance. That means everything it is having operating system having, application server having, and then applications also having. For example, I am taking the one instance Microsoft Windows Server 2019 base. Here coming to the instance type. Here you will have the free instance. Go for the free instance type. But boy, because it is a demo, that's why I'm going to the instance type. The EC different types of instances are available here. These are all are the different types of instances in a AWS console. Here, the instance type. Amazon EC2 provides a wide selection of instance types optimized to fit the different use cases. Here, that means I am selecting, I am stick for the T2 micro instance. Here, one CPU is consist of memory is a 1 gigabytes, and then the storage here is a EBS only. Previously discussed that one, elastic block storage, and then the moderate to low, and then next, and then here you have a, I'm going to creating the only one instance. Why one instance required? Why? Because you are going to applying the security rules. One instance is enough, and then the default VPC network. That means I'm using the default one. Subnet also, I'm not using any subnet here. The auto assign public enable. That means use subnet some setting enable, and then stick for default one, and then click next. Add storage. You may add extra ABS storage, or if you don't need that one, remove that one. It is that the size here is a 30 GB enough. And then tag, you may better to add tag. Name here is a EC2 underscore instance type Windows. Let us leave it. And then next, here come to the security, very important one here. Security group. Here you may create the security group now, or already existing, use the select the already exist previously you created the security group. Here you may select the already existing security group, already created that one. Okay, deleted two groups. Here previously created that group, you may select, that means you here appears the different groups. Select the default one, or I want to create now. Here that means name of the group, for example uma underscore security group, let us assume. The description is there. Here I'm going to creating a new group, and then adding the rules here. Remote desk and remote desktop protocol rules is there, and then I'm going to adding some of the another rules. SSH rules. Yes, why am I adding the SSH rules in the sense? SSH port is a open to world, open to all. That's why I'm adding that one, that rules. And then here IP configuration. Okay, the custom configuration. Here I'm stick for the anywhere, and then add another rules. For example, another rule, HTTP rules. Here stick for the anywhere, and then review. That means if you want to add one more rules, you may add the one more rules. Previously, without launching, you created the security group. Here, what is the security group here? The security group is a set of firewall rules. That means the firewall always manages the inbound and outbound traffic. The inbound and outbound traffic controls the inbound and outbound traffic for the one or more instances. Here in this case, you may add different rules. That is a main reason. That means you will create the security group here also. The name of the security group, uma underscore SG. Yes, review and launch it. And then I'm going to launching this, launch the, here asking the create pair, for example, uma underscore QK, and then download this one. Yeah, downloaded. Now lands the instance. Yes, view the instance. Here you will identify the security group here. See here the public IP address security group assigned here is a, see here the security group assigned here is a uma underscore SG. That means you may view the security group. How can you view the group? Click on here. You may view the security group, the security group related information, and then like that some kind of information you may view. And then another important thing here is a, that is a, you may create the security group, that means multiple security group for the single instance. Suppose you want to add the default security group to EC2 instance, move to EC2 instance, and then click on the action, and then that means you may add the multiple security group for the a single instance. Here for example, go to the, that means go to the instance. Here go to the instance, and then if you comes to the action part, in the under the action part you may add one security group also. Change the security group. That means I can change the security group, previously add that security group to that uma underscore that one, and then add security group, default security group, and then save it. That means you will add the multiple security group for the single instance. That is a main reason. You, that means in security you have a, that facility also is a multiple security groups for a single instance. That is a information. Some of the important points regarding this one: all inbound traffic is blocked by default, all outbound traffic is allowed automatically, That means you have any number of EC2 instances with the security group. That means one security group consists of any number of instances. For the one instance, you may create the any number of security groups. You have a multiple security group attached to EC2 instance, and then security groups are always stateful. That is a something about the security group. And then finally, I am telling you something about the limits. That means what are the limits for this one? That means virtual private network security group for the region within a your PC equal to 2500. Rules for the security group 120, no more than 16 bomb and then 61 bomb. Security group for the network here interface here. Fine. These are all different rules. Thank you.